What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Cervantes podcast. Joining me today to discuss what made him interested slash fall in love with music and the current state of hip hop and R&B is music producer, music major, and marketing minor studying at Fordham University, Rashad Griffith. How are you, bro? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, since kindergarten, I always remember you playing basketball and playing the piano. As Caribbeans, music is a major part of our culture. But for you specifically, where did your love of music and music production come from?
My love of music, it's a deep question. So my whole family, you know, we're like a lot of us are musicians, especially on my father's side. My grandmother's in the church choir. She plays
Oh,
the
wow.
piano. Um, One of my uncles plays the piano and has something called
Um,
perfect pitch that I also end up having where it's like you could hear things and you play like without reading sight music or whatever.
wow,
Um,
that's dope.
yeah,
That's dope.
yeah. So I didn't even realize that until later in my life. But basically, my older sister, who's 2 years older than me, she was taking piano lessons like when
Okay.
she was like I think she was like 5 or something like that. And she would come home from lessons and she'd play something, and then I would play the same thing or something close to it on the piano, and without like ever taking lessons. And my
Wow.
parents were like, "Whoa, we should definitely get him into playing." So I signed me up for classes and stuff like that at a music school, Hofbarthelston Music School in Scarsdale.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, and from there, how to get to music production. Okay, so as I said, I had perfect pitch, so I would hear songs on the radio or whatever, and I would try to recreate it at home on my little keyboard that had like a little record thing. So I'd find the instruments and try to like recreate the beats just to see if I could do it for fun. And I would do that, but just like, just as a hobby. And then we ended up finding out that there was a production class at my music school. So I think it was
Nice.
seventh
Okay.
grade. Yeah, seventh grade, I took that. And that really got me like more into production, even though I did not really know what I was doing. Because like
Yeah.
I listened to what I made a few like maybe last year or something like that. I listened to it, I was like, whoa, this is so bad. This is so bad. But
But you got to
yeah,
keep
that's
going. You got to keep
yeah,
growing. Yeah.
definitely. Because I realized that I learn a lot of stuff like the more you do it. Like, the more you do it, the more you learn. You know what I mean?
Practice
You
makes
could get
perfect. Yeah.
lessons. Yeah, exactly. You can get lessons, but like doing it yourself is what really makes you learn something new.
Oh, so you feel like outside of class, what you did at home, kind of that's where it was, like the growth.
That's where the real growth happened.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
went there for how long?
So yeah, I was like 3 at the time when I was playing the piano, and my parents realized I could like do it without taking lessons. So they tried to sign me up then, but the school rejected me because my hands were too small. So
Wow.
yeah,
What? That's
they
insane.
straight up said you can't play the piano because your hands are too small right now. So we had to wait
Wow.
until I was 5. Yeah,
Wow, that's funny.
yeah.
Okay, and
Five,
you and
five, five till like 13 or 14. I took piano lessons. Yeah.
is that the highest that you can go? Like you can't be in there longer, or you just
No,
decided
you
like
could. Yeah, we could have kept going, but me specifically, I wasn't really like taking full advantage of the lessons. You know what I mean? Because my teacher would
okay,
want me to sight read and stuff like that and learn that way. But I play by listening, so I would always he
right.
would send me home to practice the songs. I would go home. I would not practice. Then I'd show up on the day and he'd be like, play what you practiced. And I'd be like, I don't know how to play it. Can you play it for me? He would play it for me. I'd listen to it and then I'd play it back to him. So it's
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
cheating, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't
Yeah.
want you to learn like that.
It's not really, I guess it's not really, the way they want you to learn. It's not
Oh, okay,
what a
okay.
professional piano players would do. But
So
yeah,
now you
so
just now you just like do it like on your own, like you don't go to a school for it.
in high school, I went to Fordham Prep and there was a jazz band and I played the piano in that for 4 years. No, 3 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
something
what's
like
up.
that.
And it's always been
Um,
piano.
yes and no, kind of. So when the piano school rejected me because my hands were small, um, My parents sent me to my parents sent me to try taking drum lessons. And yeah,
Wow.
that didn't really go that well either. But then I picked it back up in high school just on the side, not really like, taking lessons for it. I just taught myself kind of.
Okay.
Um and then like, through the years, like I just pick up other stuff just for like trying to see if I could do it. So I would try to play the guitar. I'm not that good at that, but I could play like, one or two songs. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
That's what's
My
up. Is
friend
that an
just gave
instrument that
me,
you would want to like
oh, I would
master?
love to learn the guitar.
That
I love
seems
that
lit.
instrument. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me because the strings don't line up the same way the piano like keys line up.
Right,
So
right.
my
String
my, my whole
instrument versus
listening,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
my whole listening and playing doesn't really help me there. You know what I mean?
No, you gotta like do it.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a struggle, but I am trying though. And then like in high school in the same band, there would be times there was another pianist playing, and my teacher would ask me to play what was it? Not the xylophone, it was a bigger xylophone, I forgot what it's called. Is it the glockenspiel? The marimba, something like that. I can't remember which one it was. It was like,
Okay.
the big metal xylophone looking thing, but it was like really big with the mallets. I
Yes,
played
yes.
that.
Okay.
The keys line up like a piano though, so I could just like play that without practicing or like taking lessons or anything. And then recently my friend gave me her ukulele, and I've
Nice.
been practicing like that in my free time at home. And I've gotten pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's what's up.
Pretty
That's
solid,
what's
yeah.
up. I think it's important for to learn instruments and learn new
Yeah.
instruments because I played the clarinet in from like fifth grade to eighth grade, and then
Hmm.
I did the violin for like I think 1 or 2 summers in middle school. And I wish I kept going because it's like I meet all these kids in college, like, oh, I played
Yeah.
this, I played that. It's like, damn, like I wish like I kept going. So that's
Telling you, bro, you could
good.
definitely pick it back up. You could definitely,
Yeah,
because
I
you've
think
had the
so.
lessons before, you've had some time with it, so you could definitely pick it back
I
up.
say I'm surprised you didn't like sing for some reason.
Oh, I did sing. I forgot about that completely.
Oh wow. Okay,
I
yeah. I
completely
feel like
forgot
you
about that.
sang.
Yeah. I was in the choir from third grade till eighth grade. Um
Okay, so chapel years.
Chapel years, yeah. Um we sang the national anthem at Shea Stadium, City Field, like
That's
every single
it.
year.
Wow.
Um but I
And
gave
then
that
you were
up
like tired of
because
it?
no, kind of. It's like two things there. After middle school, I was just like, because I've always wanted to play jazz. You know what I mean? So in high school,
Okay.
there was like jazz, and there was also choir. And I was like, which one would I rather do? So I was like, let me do jazz. That was that. But then also, I did a talent show in high school,
Okay.
and I sang, what's it called? I sang and played "The Man" by Aloe Black on
Okay. I don't
piano.
think I know that one, but I'm gonna look at that
You
after.
definitely do. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up.
But yeah, so I did that and I did it blindfolded, right? And I thought I was gonna
Wow.
win. I thought I was gonna win. But then at the end, the judge was just like, yeah, you were very pitchy and off tune this, off tune that. And I was just like,
What?
what? Because
I'm
like third through
surprised.
eighth grade, like I would get every solo in the choir because like I was good at singing back then. But my voice, that was like before my voice dropped or whatever. So I was a soprano and alto. And I guess I was good at that
Mm,
range. But then once my voice dropped, like I
wow.
completely
It
lost my ability to
changed.
sing. Yeah, I can't. I can hold a tune now, but I'm not good. I used to be good. I'm not good
Okay,
anymore.
so you're not
And I
gonna be
realized
singing
it.
at the family barbecue.
No. No.
That's crazy. Because I feel like I remember
Yeah.
you singing like when we were younger and stuff.
Yeah,
So that's
I used to,
crazy.
yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
realized I wasn't good anymore because my friend recorded it for me and he played back the video. I was like, I was really that bad. And I listened to it and I was cringing. I was like,
Wow. So they were
so
right. It's not like
I
they were like gassing
no,
you.
they were not right. They were not wrong. Because just I remember myself like when I was younger, I actually was good. I heard recordings of myself. I was good. It's
Okay.
just like I don't know. Once my voice changed, I
That puberty
just lost
age
that.
just
Yeah,
voice
it
drop.
just
That's so
it
interesting.
ruined me.
That's so interesting because like you should I feel like that sucks because if you're a good singer when you're younger, I feel like that should keep going.
It does for some people. It just didn't for me. I guess I don't know.
Which music producers and or music artists have inspired you?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Zaytoven. He's the biggest one. He's a
Okay.
music producer out of Atlanta, produced for like Gucci Mane, who I don't like. I don't even listen to him like that. So that's not the reason I got into
He's like,
Zaytoven, just letting you know. Migos. I used to be a huge Migos fan.
okay.
Huge Migos fan. Who else he produced? He produced for a lot of other artists now because he's like really mainstream, but he mainly was Migos. And I was a huge
Okay.
Migos fan back in the day. And I looked up his story. Oh, let me just get before that. What really got me into like Zaytoven is I'd listen to his beats
Mhm.
and there would always be like some crazy piano solos or licks or whatever over the beat. And I was just like, whoa, like this dude is nice, nice. So I looked up his backstory, and apparently he was like some pianist in some band in college, and he was playing at a football game or something like that.
Okay.
And someone in the crowd heard him and was like, yo, you're nice on the keys. I got to take you back to the studio. And ever since then, like he took him to the studio, started producing in there every day. And that was the start of Zaytoven. And then what I would do when I was younger is I would watch on YouTube Zaytoven making beats. And that was like mind blowing to me. The stuff he was doing, I was like, whoa.
Wow. Like in
Because
the
he would like,
studio, just playing
yeah,
around with the wow, that's what's
it's
up.
crazy. I literally just watched one right before this, to be honest. So I wanted to remind myself what I used to do. And I remember that I was like, whoa, yeah, I remember this. Like it's still impressive to me now what he does.
That's
And as a
that,
piano player, I was just like, I could really identify with this, you know what I mean? Because like he's doing stuff that I could definitely do. And he's doing it in a
given the
very like,
tools that
yeah,
you need.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. I could, yeah. So
Right.
like he
Because
was
not
definitely a
everyone has a
huge inspiration
studio in
for
their
me.
house.
True, 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 true,
Right.
true.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But he's definitely the biggest one. Kanye's definitely one. I don't want to say used to. He's complicated now, but I definitely
right,
I
right.
definitely used to love Kanye for real.
No,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Those are good names. Those are good names.
yeah.
Who are some of your favorite musicians and songwriters?
Favorite musicians. I'd say I have like three main ones.
Okay.
Alicia Keys is one. John
Nice.
Legend is another.
Great.
And Alicia Keys, John Legend, Stevie Wonder.
Those are great,
Yeah,
great
the three
people.
of
Yeah.
those, because like the way they play the piano and sing, because I play the piano and sing like a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's just like
Right.
what they do and the way they do it to such a high level, it's just so impressive to me. Because like
Yeah, because I don't understand how you're able to do both like at the
it's
same
hard.
time.
I
Very
realized
tough.
that you have to like either perfectly master one of the two so you could focus on the other while you're doing it. So like say you're playing whatever song, you either have to like know how to play it like perfectly on the piano so that you don't have to think about it while you're singing, or you have to
Okay.
either like memorize the way you're going to sing it beforehand and think about the piano playing, for me at least.
Okay.
Because if you try to like think about both at the same time, it gets a
You're
little
gonna mess
dicey.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when she I don't know which Grammys it was, but she was playing Alicia Keys was playing both piano like two pianos at the same time while singing like some crazy song. That's
She's
insane.
ridiculous. Yeah,
That's
she's ridiculous.
insane. And at least like
Yeah.
your voice might like change and you might not be the best singer forever for some people, but I feel like piano you'll always have,
Oh,
you know?
definitely, definitely. As long as
That's
you keep
dope.
practicing and playing and stuff like that, that's not gonna leave me.
No, those are so John Legend, Alicia Keys, Stevie Wonder. Those are great people to check out and listen to.
Mm.
That's dope. So I personally see you becoming a really big music producer one day, working with a big music artist. I see it. I manifest that. What are some
Thank
of
you,
your career
bro.
goals, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, see, with that, I don't really have any specific career goals.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not really driven by like plaques and stuff like that. That doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't really
Okay.
care about that. Money either. I'm not driven by money. What I really want to do with my music is just like, to be able to do it while getting like good living with it. You know what I mean? And like one of my main things is I want to hear my music on the radio. That's one of my main
Oh,
things.
okay.
And be
Nice.
able to work with all the artists that I want to, basically.
Nice. Yeah. Because I think if you're doing it for money, it's gonna like it might not end well. It might
Yeah.
not. It's gonna change your perspective. Like, oh, I gotta keep going, keep going. It's never gonna be enough. You know, like,
Mm,
okay, I worked with Beyonce, but who's next? Like, who do you go
yeah.
out? You know. So that's important. That's important. Do you see yourself like working is that going to be your main job, like music producing, making
Yeah,
beats?
that's one of my biggest goals right there, to have it be my main job. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I know for a lot of people, like it's got to be their side hustle, or they
Right,
have to
like
have
they
another
still
job.
keep like a day job.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably my biggest goal right there, for it to be my main job.
That's what's
If
up.
I could have it as that, then I know it. That's, to me, that's success right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're happy and you're comfortable and
Hmm.
like financially. Yeah, that's
Yes.
dope. According to an article from USA Today by entertainment reporter Patrick Ryan, for the first time ever, R&B and hip hop has surpassed rock to become the biggest music genre in the US in terms of total consumption, according to a Nielsen's Music's 2017 year-end report. I personally am not surprised by this. Hip hop is one of my favorite genres, but I wanted to ask you, how much of an influence do you think Black music has had on the world?
Huge influence. Huge influence. From just the drums and stuff like that coming from Africa, coming into what was it, jazz? I can't
Yeah,
remember which years, which decade that was. Jazz moving into like rock and roll. So if you listen to rock and roll, like it's heavily influenced by jazz. You could definitely hear some jazz like progressions and stuff like that. Blues too. Moving on to like soul music, you know what I mean? Soul
yeah.
music, which became, I don't know, like Michael Jackson era pop music, and then coming
80s,
into like
90s,
the Kanye West era of soul
early
rap beats.
2000s.
Yeah, R&B with Usher and them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then,
it's we've been in
oh,
like every genre. I
oh,
feel like
definitely.
there's a bunch of us in
Definitely.
every genre. I feel like we to say like, oh, that's a white genre. I feel like that's very it's not true.
Hmm.
Rock, pop, like you said, R&B, hip hop,
Every single
country.
genre. Yeah.
Country, I just found out about like last summer. Like apparently there were like black country artists, and then they kind of like got kind of overlooked, of course, during the time
Hmm.
by white music artists. So yeah, I think it's made a big influence when we go to football games, basketball games. What are they playing? Hip hop music,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting to think about. I wonder why now, like in the recent years, it's surpassed. I feel like it's
I
always
could
like the
think
biggest.
I think you should credit that to Bad and Bougie might be the one that did it.
Okay, back in 2017, I think.
2016, 2017, something like that. I think that's the one that really took it over the top.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think Migos for sure, like
mhm.
mainstream. Because I think also too, sadly, I think sometimes artists and songs and music will be big in our community, but in order for that artist or those producers to like make it big, we kind of need white people to like us, so then it becomes mainstream and universal.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
is annoying, but it's like that's how it goes. Like in
Yeah.
order to make it on Billboard and
Yeah.
like for in other countries, yeah.
And if you've noticed, like after the whole rap movement started like really taking over in like the tens,
Hmm.
um, you have artists like Katy Perry doing Dark Horse with a rap beat, Ariana Grande doing Seven Rings on a trap beat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Justin Bieber doing all the songs he does on rap beats. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's really taking over.
Yes. Like the way, yeah, like pop artists collaborating with hip hop artists. I feel
Yeah.
like that was that I feel like that kind of started with Mariah Carey low key in the 90s, like when she would collab with all those rappers.
Yeah.
And then you see that over and over again, like you said, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry,
Hmm.
so many people. Or like they're
Yeah.
not they may not collab with a hip hop artist, but like you said, like their beats will be
Yeah.
like hip hop or R&B,
Hmm.
and then it's like when it's time for award season, you don't know where to put them. Like, is that pop? Is that R&B? You know,
Yeah.
I feel like you could say that with I feel like Doja Cat does both. I feel
Hmm.
like some people kind of like it's kind of hard to put them in one genre. Or like even
Hmm.
Beyonce, I feel like is she pop? Is she R&B? But she also does like
I
kind of
feel
hip
like
hop
pop
inspired.
itself. I feel like pop itself as a genre is tricky to, make its own genre. You know what I mean? Because pop is literally just whatever's popular at the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
Right.
what would you classify Michael Jackson pop? Is that still pop today? You know what I mean? Is that like,
It's
is it something
different and it's
else?
changed.
Yeah. At one
Mm.
point, pop music was like DJ Mustard beats. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was pop music at like one point for a solid like 2, 3, 4 years.
Right.
Every song
Right.
had a beat like that, which is like
And I
West
think
Coast
we
hip hop.
all, yeah. And I think we all have different maybe definitions of pop
Hmm.
because it's like for some people it's Taylor Swift, but
Hmm.
for our parents it was Michael Jackson, and then
Yeah.
maybe us right now it could be like Doja Cat or somebody else of that. So it's I feel like there's different generations. I think there's
Yeah.
different definitions. It's not one thing. Even rappers nowadays, they're not. It's not like rap is so it's so different than how it used to be, because
Very
there was the
different. Yeah.
Kanye's, the Jay-Z's, but now we have like Lil Pump, Lil Baby, the Baby. It's so like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I agree with that. It's hip hop, black people, we've had a very big influence. Well, and
Hmm.
reggae too. And I think
Yeah.
all those other genres, reggaeton. So
Oh, oh, I didn't even mention that. That was like my whole paper this semester. But
oh,
yeah,
okay. You did a
definitely
paper on that.
reggae. Yeah, reggae's definitely influenced like, oh man, huge influence on like reggaeton for real and dembo. That's all came from
Yeah,
reggae.
Vibes Cartel, Bob
Yeah.
Marley. Yeah. And now Drake trying to have a Jamaican accent.
Drake, man.
So you can see the influence, and he's from Canada. So
Yeah,
that's really cool.
huge influence. Yeah.
Whether it's at the cookout or in the barbershop, the culture in our community is always debating how music is today versus the early 2000s, 90s, and decades back. How do you feel about the current state of music now, particularly hip hop, pop, and R&B?
Okay, so for me, because I know there are a lot of people that are old heads and like a lot of people that are just like, I don't know if you call them new heads or just whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'd say like I listen to music mainly for its beats, right?
Okay.
Lyrics to me are a bonus. Like if you could spit on a fire beat, now you're just like goaded to me, you know what I mean? But if the beat is
Yes,
fire and you're not terrible, I'll still listen to it. You know what I mean?
I
So I'm
feel
not
the
an old
same
head,
way.
but I'm not a new head either, you know what I mean? So like the state of hip hop, it's very different than it used to be. It used to be like heavily focused around lyricism and just like, their ability to like flow and have a good
Bars.
cadence on a beat and stuff. Yeah, basically just bars.
Yeah.
And now it's completely changed to just like, is the beat fire? Can you mumble on it?
Or like blowing up on TikTok, and like
Oh,
charts
yeah,
and
yeah,
streams. Yeah.
definitely. I'd say like TikTok is. I'm not blaming TikTok or anything, but I feel like TikTok has definitely made music quality itself go down because everyone's more focused on being the next viral hit than making good music. I'm not hating. I'm not an old head, but I'm
Right.
just saying like that's what I've noticed. Like they'll be
Right.
saying like random dance lyrics on a beat or just making weird sounds and whatever on a beat and it blows up and now it's like, oh, it's a big song, but it's not. Is it good? You know what I mean?
Right. Because I think there's a difference in it. Like, yeah, Billboard, that's about charts, right? And like being
Mhm.
number one and stuff. That's very different than was the song good? Was it impactful? Was it,
Mhm.
what was the
It's a
feeling that
lot
you
less
evoked from
impact with music nowadays.
that?
A lot less
And I
impact.
think, but I hate when people like, oh, hip hop is dead. We don't have any good rappers anymore. That's not true. Jay-Z's still alive. Nas is still
Jay-Z still
alive.
alive.
You
Yeah.
have J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's plenty of people that I can't think of right now, but that I don't think hip hop is dead.
Hmm.
Maybe some of your favorite rappers have died. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like I think it's not fair to. I think it's unfair to say that hip hop is dead. Nicki Minaj. A lot of guys don't want to admit it, but a lot of
Nicki
female
Minaj can
rappers,
spit. She
yes.
can
I don't know
spit.
why. I think
Yeah,
men don't want to give women their props. I don't know, but I just think
definitely. Young Ma too, or Young Ma. She's
yes.
ridiculous. She's one of the best freestylers, not just for a woman either, just like one of the best freestylers, period.
Oh, I gotta check out some of
Like
her freestyles, but I'm not.
if you yeah,
Yeah.
it's so impressive what she does. So impressive. Like I don't listen to her that much, like her music, but I will watch her freestyles, and I'm amazed when what she does.
I gotta check one of hers out. Yeah, because a
Yeah,
lot of these female rappers are better than the men, if we want to be honest. So
yeah,
so
yeah,
I think yeah, I don't think hip hop is dead. And I think it's okay for it to change. Are we
yeah.
gonna is it gonna sound like the 90s again? No, because we're not in the 90s.
Hmm.
Like, so I feel like every decade it's always gonna change. Because I'm
I
sure
feel
like,
like yeah. Oh,
oh, we're gonna say
you go ahead.
I was gonna say
You
in the early 2000s, I'm sure people were like, "Oh, hip hop is dead. Doesn't sound the same."
Yep,
Of course, it's gonna change. People get
definitely.
older, inspiration. With it's always gonna like go with the times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What are you
Until
gonna
it
say?
eventually, I feel like it's every genre eventually comes to an end though. So, and
Okay.
I feel like what happens is just from what I'm thinking, or whatever. What happens is once music becomes like like a genre becomes really mainstream and it becomes the pop, it gets it fizzles out that way. You know what I mean? Like at one point, 2000s R&B that was pop music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
And
was
then
what
eventually it
everyone was
became
listening
yeah.
to.
Then eventually that just died out and it became the next pop phase, and that genre was just left behind. So I feel like
Yeah.
rap could very possibly be coming to an end. Like obviously there'll still be artists making music, because you can still listen to like some old head rappers making old head rap music. It doesn't get popular, but they still make it. But
Yeah.
I feel like it just will die out as a movement.
That's a good point. That's a very good point because I think like early 2000s R&B, it was like Usher and all those people, right? And then for a while it fizzled out, like you said. And then people were saying, like no one's making like R&B music anymore. It's like it's either pop or it's like hip hop. So that's true. And now it's slowly coming back with like the LMAs and like certain type of people, Georgia Smith. So yeah, that could happen with hip hop. Like it's so big right now that maybe like in a couple years we might not hear that music anymore or
Yeah.
certain types of songs or beats anymore. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. And like you said
Hmm.
before, I'm listening to music for the beats too, and I think a lot of our generation is too, and we don't want to admit it. But I think that's
Hmm.
okay because I always said like there's different moods for different like we're all gonna have different moods. Like if I'm sad or something, or like I'm in my bag, I'm gonna listen to certain artists. And I think it's
Yeah.
okay to have the conscious rap versus like party type, get lit type music. Because I
Yeah.
don't want to listen to a certain artist all
Yeah.
day, or I don't want to listen to a
Facts.
certain genre all day, and that's okay. Am I gonna listen to NBA YoungBoy like while I'm just chilling? Like no, you know. So I think there's different artists for different reasons. We could
Facts.
have
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill, but we could also have Cardi B. This is my last question. Which artist would you love to work with one day?
So many. There's too many to name, honestly. I have a lot of favorites, and I'd love to work with them all one day.
Okay.
Um, just to name a few, like right now, I'm looking at my wall because I got like my favorite
Oh, okay,
albums and stuff like
okay.
that on there.
Your favorite.
Um, yeah, I'd say Travis Scott's definitely one.
That's a good
I'd
one.
still love to work with Kanye because I feel like with him specifically, like I loved him the most when he was like rapping on soul beats. Now he's completely
Okay.
like he's changed that and he's rapping on like trap beats or whatever. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. So I feel like because I at one point I was like trying to make Kanye beats and I got pretty good at it at one point, you know what I mean? So I feel like if I could work with him and I could give him some of my soul beats, he could still make some really fire music. So he's definitely another
Yeah.
one.
That
Uzi's
old
one.
Kanye vibe.
Yeah, yeah. Uzi's one.
Lil Uzi,
Cuddy.
okay.
Um, those are just some of the main ones to name, I guess.
Oh.
Jay Critch. I love Jay Critch.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
like the biggest Jay Critch fan, man.
Really? Okay. I
Yeah.
have like two or three songs that I like. That's what's
Hmm.
up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see it one day. That's what you're passionate about. Are you like in internships right now and like doing stuff like that?
I am not in an internship right now. I had one lined up last summer,
Okay.
but it got canceled because of COVID. And I
Okay.
wasn't able to find one for this summer. But I have a plan for what I want to do this summer with my music. And
Okay.
one thing I'm trying to do is I'm not sure if you saw my video where I played the ukulele and remade the beat.
I don't think I
Um,
saw that one yet, but I gotta
but
see.
there was yeah, but there was an there's a musician that does that named Einer Banks, and he plays the ukulele. Has the rappers like rap over him playing the ukulele. So I want to do that, but with the piano. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
start
think I
reaching
saw
out to
somebody
artists.
do that. The guy who made
Yeah.
Whoopie. Yeah.
Mm.
So
So I'm gonna try to
you're gonna
do
do
that,
that
but with piano. Hmm.
with piano. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Do you have a YouTube channel and would you like start one?
I would definitely start a YouTube channel. I haven't started one yet because I don't really know exactly what I would do on it.
Okay.
Um, but what I would probably do on my YouTube channel is like remake beats, maybe do a couple videos of me making my own beats. But I
Okay.
just haven't done that yet.
Kind of like what you do on the like
On
producer
Instagram, yeah.
that you have.
Mhm,
Something. Does I know that you have a website. So
mhm.
have you gotten a lot of like clients through like booking and contacts and stuff?
No, not through the website. I've gotten them mainly through like DMing people and stuff like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, social media is the way to go now. I feel like thank you, bro, for joining me on the podcast. I appreciate it. It means a
Hmm.
lot.
Thank
Um,
you for having me, man.
yes, of course, of course. You can follow Rashad on his main account at Rashad.sg underscore and his producer page at prod.rashad double underscore. For booking and contact information, you can visit www.rashadproductions.com. Be sure to leave a rating for the Cervantes podcast on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the Cervantes Podcast YouTube channel and click the notification bell up top so you're notified whenever I upload a new episode. Thank you guys for listening. Peace out.